a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. We greatly appreciate you spending some time with us. Blessed and highly favored here in Tampa Bay, helping you win in any marketplace as your consumer advocate. Also, a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay. Great lineup for you. We got Michael Johnson back in studio, Dennison Yachting. We're going to talk about the process of buying a yacht. Also, he's got a really cool realtor program so you can increase revenue. Dan Minikheim as well, Pro Health Pest Control on the program. And some interesting headlines we're going to touch on. Tucker Carlson, Ken Paxton, the Texas AG. If you haven't been following that story, it's very interesting. But he was impeached, but then he won his trial. He was acquitted. Also, $33 trillion and counting. The United States debt spiraling out of control. Are we at the point of no return, or how close are we to that point? And also something interesting, too. Remember the Major League Baseball story, the L.A. Dodgers propping up this leftist group called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence? I've got a clip. I got some tape we're going to play on that. Really interesting stuff lined up for you on the Consumer Quarterback Show today. Quick shout out to one of our newer show partners, West Coast Windows here in Tampa Bay. They do a great job with all of your commercial or residential real estate cleaning, window cleaning. It's westcoastpremierwindowcleaning.com, and you can check them out right on their website. Brian and his team do a great job. They clean our real estate properties. westcoastpremierwindowcleaning.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we'd like to feature our listings live on air. We've got 15 agents on our team now, and we're growing. And this is a new listing from Cody on our team, 419 Palloway in Spring Hill. He's got a beautiful listing here up in Pasco County. The northern part of our listening audience is where you can find some of your best value as well. 419 Palloway, Spring Hill. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2,071 square feet. Luxury home with a 2-car garage. You have a beautiful property here, granite counters, intricate black backsplash there, Kenmore Elite stainless steel appliances, new refrigerator, master suites with hardwood floors, relaxing garden tub, soaking garden tub, walk-in shower as well, separate shower, brand new roof, recently installed, heated pool. No backyard neighbors, recently updated guest bathroom as well. 419 Palloway, Spring Hill, beautiful home right here in Tampa Bay. Also, 9749 Little Blue Stem Drive. This is one of my listings here in Pasco County as well. This is Lando Lakes. This one, actually, it might be Hillsborough County, but it's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2334 square feet, 2-story home in the coveted Connerton community. These communities are planned unit developments where you have community pools, dual pools, a lap pool. You also have a splash park, miles of trails, on-site elementary school as well. Kitchen boasts a spacious island, ample counter space, abundant cabinets, and a walk-in pantry. The owner's suite features an ensuite with dual vanities, soaking tub, and a separate walk-in shower. You also have a large backyard as well. 9749 Little Blue Stem Drive, Lando Lakes here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings online at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down.
All right, so we got our boating and yachting expert, Michael Johnson, back in studio. Michael, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing out there. What's the overall economy looking like for you, and what's going on over at Dennison Yachting?
It is great to be back. Always to talk about yachts and boats in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me back. We're going to continue on some discussions, and we were talking about for the economy in here and it's going on for boating. We're actually seeing a very steady sale mark for boats right now. It is keeping very, very steady. There was a lot of concerns with the interest rates going up, but within our industry, and we had talked before, we're a little bit more cash than we are financing, so it's really not affecting. So we're actually seeing a stability in the boat sales. Some categories are actually still exploding. So we've got sail catamarans and power catamarans and trawlers are actually very, very popular right now, and it seems to be where everybody's kind of floating to, and it's still driving a lot of the market. So it's doing really well. So we're holding it well.
Yeah, generally, like with real estate, you think about a buyer's market or a seller's market. Do the boating and yachting, do you see that happen there in your space, or how do you define that?
I think it's the same thing as inventory.
Yeah.
I think inventory is too much inventory, too many going to market, but also how many buyers are in the market.
Yep.
But it also shifts on what demand is. Like, again, there's a lot of motor yachts that are out there that are great options in motor yachting. But what I think is happening is that we have a lot of individuals that are coming up from up north and are starting to get in boating, and a lot of them are hearing about, how can I make more gas efficiencies? How much more room can I get on to be on board in more long-term distances? That's where this comes into, that's where trawlers and sail catamarans and power catamarans have been so popular, to just get a little bit more, I guess you say deck space or square footage per vessel. They're a little wider.
Yeah.
So they people love it. And not everybody wants to go fast. Everybody wants to these are more putt along type, they're more cruise along type vessels. And they're just becoming really, really popular for some individuals, and that's really where we're seeing the segments grow more than anything else. Yeah,
I love it. I love the idea of jumping on your catamaran, your 40 to 50 foot cat, cruising down to the Caribbean and enjoying, hey, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. Some people take months off at a time, and especially now, as long as you got your Wi-Fi and internet, you're able to work from the sea, right?
Yeah, you could. You could easily work from the sea if you want to.
That's cool, man.
Just hopping islands and then doing a couple of emails, and you're good to go. So we are seeing some really great things going on. And it's a lot of the ones that are looking at buying. Purchasing boats for the very first time. We've talked a lot about how to get on the water fast, but I think it gets into the segment as we're starting to see is we're actually seeing a lot of individuals come to the market for the first time, and they don't really know the process, which is really interesting, because you kind of think of buying a boat as buying a car. I'm just going to show up at the dealership, check a couple out, maybe sea trial it, and then I'm going to just give them some cash. It actually runs a little bit like real estate, which is shocking to many. There is a process to it. In most used boats, if you go new, there's time to order it and get it. Sometimes the boats can take up to a year, or sometimes 2. We got some we're working on, could be 3 years till they even get a hold of them. But the process of new kind of runs like a house. It's really interesting. You kind of go to market, get pre-approved. So that's a big thing. You want to get pre-approved before you go to market. Some think I'll just buy it and I'll call somebody to get financing like a car, because there's a little bit of a relationship of understanding that it's a car, but it's really kind of runs as a house. So you want to get pre-approved. You want to talk to the insurance. You want to know where you're going to put it. What marina you're going to keep it in, what area you're going to keep it in. These are the top things you need to do first.
Yeah.
Then you go to market. So you're prepared to go to market to understand what boat I want to buy, what am I going to get myself into, your category, and my budgets. That starts to set you in a really good position to go to market and find something. Some things move quick and some things sit.
Right.
But it gets you into that position to start looking at what you like. And once you identify something, just like looking for a house, then you're going to put an offer on it. So we do the same process. We have contracts that are standard contracts, like the Realtor Association. We have what's called IYBA. They're standard formatted contracts. International Yacht Broker Association is what we use. Same process. We put in an offer, goes to a seller, and then they negotiate it. Same way. So there's counters and back and forth, terms, and once they settle on a price, then it's agreed upon. Then that's when escrows come out. There's typically a 10% escrow that you would put down on a boat. That's good faith. And here at Denison, we do everything under one roof, so we're one umbrella process. You hold your money in escrow with Denison. It's good faith. Then in those contracts, it gives you a right for inspection. So what we call surveying. So just like a home inspection, you have a right within boats, you have surveying, you have the ability to sea trial it. You can haul it out, check out the bottom, see how things are operating down below. They'll have an inspector come on, a surveyor. Sometimes they'll have an engine mechanic come on separately.
Sure.
So there's a process to that. And then once we go through that, what'll happen is they'll get a report, just like a home inspection report. You get a full report. And actually some inspectors will do what we do, gas sampling and testing. They'll actually send it out to labs, kind of see if there's heavy metals in it. It's a pretty good process to give you what are you getting into. So why do we do this? We do this for the process of understanding what you're going to get into it as a boat owner, like a homeowner. What am I taking on? What are the type of engines I have and how do I service them? What's currently been done and what should I expect that's coming up? That's huge. You want to know what you're getting into.
Right.
Boating is all about expectations. So if we could set that in the beginning and you have an understanding of what you're getting into, especially maintenance and future costs,
right.
This makes it a lot easier to understand, what you're really, what you have in your hands when you can take it on.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
we're talking with Michael Johnson here, Dennison Yachting on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. He's our expert for all things boating, yachting, enjoying the outdoors, and of course in Florida and in the southeast region of the United States, for that matter, you're got a lot of navigable waters, a lot of great opportunities. The other thing too is some of these boats are so big, some of these yachts are so big, you're not even you got to have a special trailer or rent a semi truck to bring it down, depending on where you're buying it from. How much of that interstate commerce are you doing, or mostly these boats in the water locally? Talk to me about that.
That's a challenge too. So you're looking at what size boat am I going to purchase and then where I'm going to put it. That's a huge part of the process, because sometimes they're too big. If they're too wide and they're too tall, we can't get them through the bridges. Or if they might be low enough but they're too wide, we have to have escorts. So you're talking about wide loads, and there's costs associated to that.
Yeah.
If they're too big, that means we have to do it by water. So you have to bring in a captain. Essentially, a captain will be hired to, let's say we have actually clients looking right now buying yachts in Clearwater to bring them to New York.
Wow.
So it's usually the other way, but we do go the opposite way too.
Yep.
So they're buying stuff down here and they're bringing it up to New York. But by the time you go through, Fort Myers, the Okeechobee, which are kind of cool. It's a cool experience. Let's put it this way.
You go through my old hometown there. If you go down the Caloosahatchee River, you're going through LaBelle.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you have a lot of people wanting to do that, which is interesting because most are like, wait, hold on, this thing's going to go through the Okeechobee. I want to jump on that boat at the same time. So you get a little bit of this experience with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to California, so you get to go through the Panama Canal.
That's cool.
So, there's a cost to it, obviously, and how many days it'll take, and there's captains which is great because you can hire a captain as part of this process, and they'll train you. They give you some more additional education. So there's a little bit of these perks that come along. So transport could be a little bit of a process and a pain to some, but at the same time, there's some wins you can get out of it. So, so it's something you have to consider, definitely, where you're buying and where you're putting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a quick break there. When we come back, I want to talk to you also about your realtor program. You got some really cool things that you work with realtors. We actually combined on a unique process that you have going where you can help boat owners point out, hey, here's the best gasoline, here's the best fuel prices, here's the best diesel in your neighborhood, around your community. So we're going to talk about that and some of the other ways he works with realtors here coming up. Michael Johnson on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Go online as well, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors, previous shows. And feel free, of course, to reach out to the hotline. We'd love to talk to you on our Consumer Advocate hotline as well. ConsumerQB.com. And follow us online at brandonRhymes1 on Instagram, at CQB Show on Instagram as well. And we'll be right back. More with Michael Johnson coming up here.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite, sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Back here in studio with Michael Johnson, Dennison Yachting, coming up here in just a moment. We're going to talk about the boat fuel program as well as big events coming up. Fort Lauderdale Boat Show coming up as well in October. Before we do, just a couple of hot listings here. We always like to feature our real estate properties live on air as part of a strategy to help sellers maximize the exposure and the profit on the sale of their real estate properties. Helping you sell faster for more money is what we do, the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 13906 Bardmore Place is one of our Tampa properties. This is a Carrollwood townhome, just a gorgeous property. Check out the updated photography online as well, since we staged this property. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, almost 2,100 square foot of living space. Hurricane impact windows. Kitchen has brand new stainless steel appliances, large pantry. Second floor has water-resistant parquet flooring. Oversized enclosed air conditioning lanai with ceramic tile. 5-person jacuzzi. And you have a backyard that has banana and avocado trees that are ripe right now. 13906 Bardmore Place, unit number B in Tampa. Carrollwood is a hot area right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We also have a new listing here at 51 Island Way, Clearwater Beach, taking you over to Pinellas County. We've got a Clearwater Beach condo, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, beautiful property here, 680 square feet, unit number 906, 51 Island Way, unit 906, Clearwater Beach. The community has a pool, hot tub, tennis court, shuffleboard, and common areas as well. New interior, exterior AC units, water heater, sliders, noise canceling, energy efficient as well. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 680 square feet, 51 Island Way, unit number 906, Clearwater Beach. And you can see all of our real estate listings online at platinumcoastalelite.com. All right, so before the break, we talked about this, kind of teased this little $1 trillion of debt that we're racking up, $33 trillion in counting U.S. debt spiral. So on one of my podcasts I listened to, it talked about are we at the point of no return?
I mean, you said it yourself. We are, if not at the point of no return, we're very, very close. She can't think of a reason to sort of, there are 33 trillion reasons as to why we need to get a handle on this. So let's look at some numbers. Over the last 5 years, the government has spent $11.5 trillion that it doesn't have, racking up $2.3 trillion in debt per year on average. But it's getting much worse. Since the last time we raised the debt ceiling, the government's added $1 trillion in debt per month. We're now on track for $1 trillion in annual interest expense. Soon, interest is going to be the U.S. government's biggest expense, more than defense. And let's not forget the U.S. spends more on defense than the other top 10 nations combined. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And what's the solution going to be? Another continuing resolution.
Well, you look at the continuing resolutions. And by the way, here's another stat. 16% loss in purchasing power is our dollar over the last 3 years. Imagine that, 16% loss in purchasing power is the United States dollar over the last 3 years. Interesting, and we've got to turn things around in D.C. All right, let's bring it back to a local level here. So we've got Michael Johnson, Dennison Yachting, on the program. Michael, we talked about this realtor program that you have, and this gas fuel program is really cool. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys, because we've put this program together a little bit in conjunction with you, so we're going to give you a little bit of a perk to the listeners on how they can save on some gas fuel up in Clearwater. And most importantly, for the realtors who are out there, this is a great option for you to even add to your clients. So there's a program we've added. It's a text program, really, really simple. We have a couple different parts in Tampa. We're going to be doing this, and they have all pretty much launched. It's going to be right now with you guys. So all you listeners that are loving Brandon, of course, we're gonna be giving you some fuel prices every single Friday morning up in the Clearwater, Palm Harbor areas. What we do is we basically send it out by text to your phone every Friday morning around 8:30. It's the only text you receive from us all week. It just gives you the best prices, or all the prices for gas and diesel for all the fuel docks in that area. It's really easy to sign up. You just text RIMES Boat Fuel, RIMES Boat Fuel, to 844-718-0307. That'll get you into that program and start at least giving you an idea where the boat fuel is the cheapest, and so you can kind of travel to that spot, especially if you're heading out, depending on your area. But yeah, so we give you a little bit of insight to what's going on with the fuel prices.
I like it. So the action item on that is they're going to text in?
Yep, you text in. You text to 844-718-0307, and they would text the keyword RIMES Boat Fuel. Okay. All one word.
Cool. I like that. And then you also have a program where you're putting those out on docks and kind of getting it out in front of people. And I really, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, we're doing it for a couple different areas. For St. Petersburg, there's a different program. So if you're down in St. Pete, we have a program from down there, downtown Tampa. We're going to be expanding it to the Manatee River, so it really kind of helps just gauge on where the best fuel prices are, and especially when you're kind of heading out of port. So,
nice.
Yeah.
We got a big boat show coming up as well. Big event coming up, Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, October 25.
We do. It is the Super Bowl of all Super Bowls of yacht shows, and most are familiar with it. And if you're not, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, also known as FLIBS, is coming here. And it is every year in Fort Lauderdale, October 25th to the 29th. It is big. It's massive. All different types of boats, new, used, anything from all the way up to 200 feet. They pretty much have on the docks, all the way down to the center consoles and anything that you would use here in Tampa Bay. It is a great opportunity to go on down to Fort Lauderdale for a couple days, check out the show. It is really a great thing to know about new technology that's coming out, new boating equipments, different types of dock designs and toys, the boats. Everything's going to be there for one giant show at the end of the month.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, do you pay to get in there to be able to look at these? How does that work?
You do. They do. You could do a whole week pass, or you could do a day pass. And then what we could do is, if you have anybody out there looking for a boat to get into this season, most wait for the hurricane season to end, essentially. That's coming up here. If you're looking in here, if you're in the market for a boat, you listen to the show. Give me a call. We can talk more about what your boating needs are, and I'll get you free tickets to the show so we can walk some boats.
Cool. Awesome. Reach out, 727-263-3707. That's our hotline, 727-263-3707. Call or text that line. You can also follow us on socials as well, at CQB Show on Instagram, at BrandonRhymes1. And Michael, of course, has his socials out there as well. Michael Johnson in studio, Dennison Yachting, and you got a couple of new yacht cruisers here in Tampa Bay as well.
Yeah, I thought we'd highlight some really great boats for Tampa Bay. I want to talk to you a bit just about cruisers. The cabin cruisers themselves, there's a lot of great boats out there that are starting to get into this really unique design where you kind of stand on the back of it and you can pretty much walk all the way through it, and real wide, lots of seats, dining, areas to grill. These boats are designing it all. So one of them that we actually have for sale is a 2020 Cruiser GLS. It's a 38-footer. Actually has Tri-Mercury 300s off of it. So
nice.
Hold on. Yeah, that's a great boat. We have that actually listed for sale. You can also look into Sea Rays. The Sea Rays 400 SLXs. The new designs with Sea Ray, especially the ones that got coming out, where they're going to be talking a little bit more, of course, at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, are just another great cruising option here for Tampa Bay. So there are just a lot of exterior space you get to enjoy with friends and family and things like that.
Nice. I like that one.
Yeah, that's the GLS. Yeah,
that's
so we're
pretty
gonna
cool.
get a photo up for that.
I love that.
Yeah, great boat.
Just off topic kind of a little bit here, but with you look at what the federal government's doing in terms of internal combustion engines on gas and trucks and cars, what's the stake? Are they talking about trying to make boats go electric, or is that a possibility? Or
that's a great question. First, there's been a couple electric boats that have been that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not to the level I think that they need to be. Most will say yes, they're starting to get on a process. They have short distances, a little heavy, but they actually do. There's some great options already in the market that you can start looking at. Hybrid I think was where they're going to go. There's a line called Green Line. They're really pushing the hybrid models. We actually see some bigger shipyards that are power catamarans that are starting to work into the hybrid models. That might be the way it goes. I think it's a great question. What is the government going to dictate that dictates the industry, which is not necessarily truly the best way. We should let the market just take itself, and we'll see what the demand goes.
Yep.
But there is a growing demand for some type of that. Hydro, or a combination of both the gas and electric type vessels. And who knows? I mean, we're sitting on water. Hydro would probably be the best option, but who knows?
So it'd be cool if you can harness it somehow. How do you want people to connect with you online?
As always, give me a call direct 312-890-6385 or email me direct at mjohnson@DennisonYachting.com.
mjohnson@DennisonYachting.com. Good stuff, man. Thank
you as always. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. All right, so Dan Menekheim coming up, Pro Health Pest Control. Also, Tucker Carlson on his recent show. Ken Paxton acquitted, and he's impeached, but he got acquitted. So interesting story there coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify.